didn't have any punishment. What punishment I had? That they kicked me one side to the other up there? That's not a punishment. That's just the road. It's like driving on the BQE. It's full of bumps. You know, you go on the LIE, it's smooth. You go on the BQE, you're like this. So the soul, when it goes up, the road can be very bumpy. Every little sin that you do, you know, you have angels kicking you from one side to the other. Then the road is bumpy. That has nothing to do. Huh?
It's not a punishment?
It is. Essentially, it's a punishment, but it's not cleansing the soul from what it's supposed to be cleansed from.
What about the story about the black dot?
That, again, this is the bumpy road.
All that is the material.
That's just the bumpy road.
It was kind of a favor that they showed it to you, even though it wasn't actual Gehenna for you.
Yeah.
It's all a favor to show you that you get
To have fear. Yeah.
And that felt like thousands of years. And that was all in the bumpy road.
And that's nothing. That's not even Genom.
Wow.
I always forgot to ask you, were you ever shown in any parts of the future when you were up there?
Yeah. I saw my entire future.
Because I remember you once mentioned, I think in one of your lectures a while back, that when you saw your wife, you knew that she was your Bashir
Yeah.
when you first met her.
That's the thing. I saw a lot of things of my future.
So you feel that you saw her up there? You saw her?
Yeah. I don't feel. I know. I saw her. In my story, I say how there was one night that I went and there was like a gathering and I ran out of the door and I went into the shul. Remember the story? That night I saw my wife from across the room and I recognized her.
In this, what room? In the next room?
No, in this world. In Esher Torah. And half a year later, the rabbi that I was in touch with, the one with the Zohar and told me Tam Shuga, all that, he made the shidduch and he told me, you know, I know a girl that you probably would like. And when he pointed out, I was laughing. I was like, okay, if you insist. But I recognized her. When she walked into the car, when we went on the date, I was like looking at her. I'm like, I can't believe it. This is not normal.
You saw her a few months earlier?
Yeah, half a year before that.
You just like saw her walking
Yeah.
by.
No, in that party. I saw her from across the room.
Oh, it was a secular party.
Yeah, not really secular. It was in Esher Torah, but Esher Torah is like very... Hmm?
Kirva.
Yeah,
It wasn't a bad party like
yeah, it wasn't like a trance party with drugs. It was like there was a nice band playing, you know, religious songs, and you know, everybody was there with kippot and tzitziot. But it was like it wasn't like a Hasidic party in Bora Park. So there wasn't a mechitza. Everybody was together. But the thing is like this: if I look at this party now, I would never go to such a place because there was, you know, women and men together and everything was. But for me, when I was at that point very not religious, everybody looked to me very religious. I didn't have a yarmulke on my head. Everybody was with yarmulkes.
When you first saw her at that party,
Yeah, I recognized her.
you recognized her from up in
Yeah,
Shamayim?
yeah. And then when we went on the date, the whole date I'm looking at her and I'm like in my mind, I'm like, I can't believe it. It's not normal. And then
She believes you, right? That you saw
Yeah.
her in Shamayim.
yeah. She's convinced. My wife says, what I tell you now is 1-2% of all the good stuff. Some things I don't say. My wife gets all the good information. So I saw all my kids. Every time my wife is pregnant, I'm like, we're having a girl, we're having a boy. So a lot of things I know.
But
But
you saw your kids too.
so in the beginning, when my wife was pregnant the first time, she kept asking me, what are we having? And I'm like, I'm not allowed to say. Don't ask me. So then came Simchat Torah, and I hate alcohol. I cannot handle alcohol. Shabbat I drink wine for Kiddush, and that's it. Huh?
Show your Lubavitch?
People think, first of all, I look Russian. Everybody thinks I'm Russian. Everywhere I go, everybody tells me, "Понімаєш по-русски?" And I'm like, no, I'm not even Russian. I'm Israeli. But I hate alcohol. I only drink once a year, and that's Simchat Torah, and I drink for the entire year. So Simchat Torah, I get totally wasted.
You can use a good mixer.
So what?
You can use a good mixer.
Yeah.
Pesach, you drink grapes?
No, I drink wine. I have no issue with wine. But alcohol, vodka, whiskey, I can't handle that. Beers, I don't like that.
These days they have all kinds of mixes. Iced tea, it's called. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah, whatever. Even on Purim, I can't handle drinking. I'm drinking a little bit, and that's it. So it was Simchat Torah, and I was like completely drunk. And as they were carrying me home, I was telling my wife, because you're drunk, you're not 100%. So I was telling my wife, it was our first daughter. I was like, we're having a girl, and I was like, and she's cute, and I saw her already.
Say her name?
No. So, but later on, every time my wife gets pregnant, I'm like, we're having a boy, we're having a girl.
You were always right.
So a lot of things I remember. Now, the thing is, a lot of the things I remember, but I don't remember how and what. So I remembered, I knew my brother-in-law is going to die. I remember seeing him dying, but I didn't know how, and I didn't know when. So when he died, I was like, I remember seeing him dying, that he died, but I didn't know when it's going to come, how it's going to come.
You knew he was the whole time you were
Yeah.
back. You never told him, I assume.
I can't come to him and tell him, I saw in Shamayim that you're going to die. They didn't tell me a date. It can happen any day. So
Did it ever bring you down? Was it depressing to think about such a thing?
it wasn't depressing, but after he died, I felt like, wow, maybe I should have really convinced him to become religious. Maybe I should have not left him alone. The thing is that he was very anti. Every time I would just approach him, he was like, no, don't even come close to me. So there's a lot of things that I remember, but I don't remember all the details. I remember it very vaguely.
I feel that maybe if you would have told, not him, of course, but if you would have told someone else, then maybe
They would think I'm a nutcase.
No, not that. Yeah, Hashem trusted you with the information. If you would have told anyone this information, this is a very
Maybe.
confidential thing.
The thing is that half of my family, at least then, thought I'm completely nuts. When I came and told them, yes, this is what happened to me, they're like, they totally disqualified my mental abilities. So if I would come and tell them, by the way, I saw then that this is going to happen, they'll be like, okay. He's like, shh. So I had to be very careful with how I say things. But
How long after you saw your wife did you tell her?
that I saw her,
Yeah.
probably a couple of dates. The thing is that in my story, I always say the same thing, that they showed me my whole life and I saw my wife. Now our first date, I told her the whole story. So I just told her I saw my whole life. Because I said, if I'm going to say I saw my wife, she's going to tell me, what if she asks me, who is she? What am I going to tell her? You? She's going to be like, okay, thank you very much. The coffee was great, and run out. But a couple dates later, when I think it was very obvious to her that we're going to get married, then I already told her, I saw you. So she kind of freaked out. No, that was already after we got engaged and it was sealed. Then I told her.
But some things you don't remember because it was very
I don't know.
fast, right? It was very
No, not because of fast. I think because that it was just either erased from the database, that I'm not gonna use it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
The thing is that I remember seeing many things, but I don't remember.
Do you feel that as the years pass and as you get older, like maybe 30 years from now, you're going to forget any of these details?
No,
from the story?
I actually remember more and more as it goes.
Wow.
How is that? We're used to forgetting things as we get older.
Right.
How do you remember every detail of the story?
The thing is that
It's also that you tell it over a lot, so that it helps you remember.
not only that, but the best day of your life, you never forget.
And it's recorded. You'll always have it.
Not only that, like let's say, usually the best day of somebody's life is their wedding day. Or, I don't know, the day they won the lottery. If you would now win the lottery, Bezrat Hashem, you should.
Amen.
The day you come to pick up the check, you'll never forget that day.
Even,
It will be engraved in your head, this day you won the lottery.
but I think even the good days, it's just our nature to forget things. Even the day of our wedding, I was never married, but even
Yeah.
the day of a wedding, I believe, if it's so good and it's so exciting, you could kind of miss the moment in the way in your mind.
Could be, but because this is so not connected to the world, this I remember.
It's like if you ever go skydiving, it's really exciting, but once you land, you have no clue what just happened.
Yeah.
Have there been people in classes that you remember seeing them?
No.
No. Or certain classes in general that you remember teaching?
Oh, stuff like that? No. The thing is that I remember in the future wise, Just very general and big things. I don't remember like details.
Okay.
I remember my wedding perfect.
Yeah.
When I got married, my rabbi told me under the chuppah, very holy time, and all the Sharei Gan Eden they're open, and all the brachot come down at you, the chuppah. He was pumping me up, and he told me the whole chuppah, you with your eyes closed, and you pray for 20 minutes. Don't look at the guest, you don't look at your wife, you don't look at anything. It's 20 minutes that you have to pray. All the shefa, all the abundance comes to you at the time of the chuppah. So the whole chuppah, I'm standing like this and praying and thinking of my parents and all my friends and Am Yisrael and Geula for Am Yisrael and Mashiach, and I'm like literally meditating and concentrating. I'm not hearing anything. I don't notice what's going on. For 1 second, the curiosity, I was like, okay, let me see what's going on here. And for 1 second, I lift up my head and I opened my eyes, and the whole scene, what I saw for like 3-4 seconds, it's exactly how I remembered my wedding. And I was like, and I closed my eyes. Deja vu like a million times. So, and even like how everybody was positioned, all my aunts, my sisters, the picture was like, I can't believe it. It's exactly how I saw it. I got so scared, I right away closed my eyes. So certain things, like big things I remember, my wedding, I remember like the brisses of my sons, things like this.
Are there still things in the future, like grandchildren or great-grandchildren?
Some things that I remember, I'm assuming they'll happen.
If, let's say, you remember seeing great-grandchildren, that means you're telling yourself you're for sure going to be alive in, let's say...
Well, I saw something even better, because how I saw that I'm part of the days of the Mashiach. So either I'm going to live till very long, or either Mashiach comes very soon.
No,
So-
you actually saying Mashiach is going to come while you're alive? You felt that? You
Yeah,
felt that?
yeah.
Or the pre-days?
I, huh?
How old were you?
The beard was still black. Because I remember very clear this look. And I get here, maybe I have a few white ones. So we're getting very close, because I remember the beard very like this.